discussed and debated the possibility of cutting future jobs such as librarians, athletics, stuff like that. And at that meeting, a lot of people shared their personal stories. And one that will always stick in my mind is of this guy who was a librarian. And he worked at this one school for 26 years. And through that time, he inspired many students to go on and be successful at stuff like Ivy League schools or become better doctors or stuff like that. But because of the recent budget cut meetings, he's now losing his job after 26 years in the district because he's a librarian. And also, my favorite sport, which I play, water polo, is also being cut due to these budget cut meetings. And through this sport, I learned the value of teamwork because I was a freshman when I first started high school, as most of you, and I wasn't so unsure about high school and what to do there exactly. But through that sport, I learned teamwork, a sense of community that I could trust, and how to become a better person through life lessons. But as it's being cut recently, I feel that I've lost a second family, which is truly an emotional thing to experience. And as we continue on this grim path, I encourage you all to fight for this school district, because it's not dead yet, it's dying, but we can still save it and make it and create this as a true turnaround story and make it the greatest throughout the state, because in darkest times, communities often grow stronger and persevere throughout all the hard times. Thank you.
Hi, so my name is Sania. I'm here from WestU. I'm actually representing our WestU newspaper, so I'm not too sure if I should be standing here right now because of journalistic integrity, but I feel pretty strongly about the subject, so I don't want to be quiet any longer. One of the truly tragic things about cutting just the budget is the fact that not only are sports cut, right now I'm in girls golf, we're being cut. The lucky thing about golf is that it's kind of a rich people's sport, so we are being sponsored next year by Our Ladies Club at the golf course, so we as a team will survive. But for a lot of schools, I'm sure this isn't a reality, and it's heartbreaking to see people who love their sport not be able to participate anymore. And I also have a lot of friends on water polo, which has been mentioned. It's also being cut. But not only are the sports being cut, but also we're cutting a lot of really important programs. For a while there, we were worrying about whether or not the journalism class would survive. I think maybe this year we might pull through. We have 38 people, which is almost at the 40 people cut off. So we might survive. But a lot of the extracurricular, arts classes won't be there anymore. I know Sunset's cutting ceramics. I don't know if WestU's cutting ceramics. I haven't had a chance to talk to the ceramics teacher yet, but it's really sad. So a lot of the arts teachers, the music teachers are really people who are just really devoted to their careers and just helping kids out. I think it's terrible that their jobs are being cut. For ESL programs that are being cut, that's just as tragic. I know there are not quite as many ESL kids as maybe kids who are in choir or kids who are in band, but their futures are at stake too, especially since, because if you think about it, ESL kids are probably the most disadvantaged kids out of all of us. They don't have the ability to speak English, they might not have ever achieved the full earning capability that we will, just because of the fact that they're struggling with English. And I feel like the high schools aren't being impacted quite as much as the elementary schools are, just because of the fact that there are so many more kids at the high school level, and because of the fact that, we're being prepared for college. But education starts young, and when we cut like ESL programs from our elementary schools, we are just setting these kids up for less opportunity for the rest of their lives. I think it's tragic. I think I've repeated that word several times. Sorry. I'm also here to express a concern from a lot of the students. I do think that between students and teachers, we oftentimes don't have the best communication, and even teachers aren't the ones who are directly, they don't have an impact. They don't get to make the decisions between what's getting cut and what's not. That's the committee's job. So maybe talking to our teachers isn't that successful, but I think it would be a great idea because a big student concern is that we waste money. Throughout district-wide, I know that Westview and Southridge, I think, are going to be purchasing a new turf for their football field, which we don't have the money, but that turf is going to cost both schools over $800,000. That's money we don't have to spend. And I also know that we have a lot of computers that we actually don't use, and we have what was it? I heard the counselors at Westview complain that, even the counselors complain that they have to switch to this new computer program that they're not being trained to use. Do we really need such a program throughout the district? I mean, I feel like our computer programs right now are pretty good. If this is money, personally, this is money I think that we don't need to spend. That we can choose to prioritize our teachers and their jobs, but instead we choose to prioritize things that are not quite necessary. And I'm sure I'm not doing the math right because 340 teachers, their salaries are a lot more money than the football turf and the computers and the computer programs combined. But maybe if we just cut a bit of that wasteful spending, then maybe a few more teachers would be able to keep their jobs. And that's just my opinion. Actually, it's also the opinion of a lot of my friends, but I feel like they're not voicing their opinions because, well, they're not here tonight. So I feel like if more people cared, more students cared also, this might not have been such a big issue. And I didn't quite prepare a speech, so I don't know how to end this, but thank you.
All right. Anyone else? We have Casey White being pressured. Someone else.
Hi, my name is Sonia Gorman. I'm also a student at Westview High School, and I hadn't been planning on coming to this event, really. I think education is really important, but sometimes events like this seem futile. When the decisions are made and the whole country is running out of money, it seems like, what can we do? But the only thing we can do is show people that we care, and by showing people that students are going to be involved in this decision, we can sway voters maybe just a little bit to spend money more on education. One thing that really pushed me over the board for coming tonight was that I found out that the German program at Westview is being completely cut. I grew up speaking German because my mom is from Germany, and it's very close to my heart. I'm good friends with the German teacher because I'm her TA. I'm president of the German club, and I work really hard to keep it active. 2 years ago, I participated in the Gap Exchange. I went to Germany for 3 weeks, and I had, hi, Riley. Sorry, I just saw someone I haven't seen in several years. I'm sorry about that. And German has been important to my childhood, and I've seen lots of students at Westview get really involved in German as well. Students who are really quiet, and I see in the hallway with small groups of friends or doing things that you don't associate with football or the typical high school activities, but who are really dedicated to things like German, which seems obscure but is really important to them. When I sent out a message today to my German club members, they were appalled. And I've gotten lots of really sad faces, and people who just really are putting together petitions and are just so upset about